Find out how long it takes June and I to watch Task, the rules about smoking in medical facilities, and a film whose post-production took 37 years. All this and more on today's How Did This Get Made? Last Looks. Hit the theme!
I took a look, ooh, my name is Paul, and I did not like what I saw, but you know we gotta look again. Last looks, last looks.
Hello, all you twins with psychic connections. It's me, Paul the Ripper, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? Last Looks, where you, the listener, get to voice your issues on Jack's Back, a movie that Discord user AFED thinks should have instead been called A Tale of Two Spaders. Okay, I like it. Thank you, AFED, for that movie title. Wouldn't it be great if they just started completely disregarding character names and specifics for the titles of films and just started calling them by the actors that were in them, like, you know, Denzel Train movie. First of all, don't know why I'm referencing Unstoppable. I think that movie came out like 15 years ago. But maybe it would bring more ants to the cinema. Speaking of which, do you think people were upset this week when they saw like the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer? And then I think for a large grouping of people, they may have been confused. They may have been like, Grogu, who's that? You know, shouldn't it be like Mandalorian and Baby Yoda? And that's what I'm getting at, people. Let's dumb it down more, okay? It's not enough. It's not enough that people are considering putting television shows on TikTok in 90-second intervals. They're called microdramas. By the way, have you watched a microdrama? These things are nuts. It's like the drama of 80s late night TV, like Dynasty and Falcon Crest, mixed with like the acting of porn back when porn cared. All right, a big shout out to Judy Ford. Wow, we're still in the opening. For that opening theme song, thank you, Judy. Remember, if you have an alt movie title or tagline, submit it to us on our Discord at discord.gg/hdtgm. And if you have a Last Looks theme song, go to hdtgm and click the Submit a Song button on our homepage. And remember, keep them short. If you're listening to the show, you know what you like. 15, 20 seconds. That's what we want. Okay. Big show today. Tom Sharpling, host of The Best Show, will be joining us in just a bit. If you don't know Tom, you might remember him from our Avengers episode. But if you're not listening to The Best Show, what are you doing? 25 years on the air. We're going to talk to him about his Grown Ups 3 script, which he wrote on spec over a weekend that got a lot of buzz online. And he's going to tell us how it got to a lot of the members of the cast. We also are going to talk about the Best Show tour. Also, I guess this is a great time to mention How Did This Get Made is going on the road. We're going to be in New York and we're going to be in Philadelphia, but that's not all. Dinosaur is going on the road and we have a great cast, okay? Edie Patterson from The Righteous Gemstones. You got Danielle Schneider from Garbage World. Oh, yeah. You also have Mary Holland, who is amazing in everything that she does. Recently on Ghosts. Me, Jason, Rob Hubel. Rob Riggle is joining us in D.C., so come see Dinosaur in Boston, D.C., and by the time of this recording, maybe even New York. Just check out hdtgm.com for our tour info, or go to Dinosaur Improv, or go to my website. There's plenty of places for you to get the links for the tickets for these shows that are happening in November. And if you just want to come see us in Los Angeles, you can do that too, because we have shows October 22nd and 23rd at Largo, and a Dinosaur show on the 24th. Boy, oh boy, I love doing live shows. Just kind of want to continue giving some love to Avril Halley, who is recovering from brain cancer. Avril is one of our, support beams of the show, and I am just constantly blown away by the amount of love that people have been sending her way, whether it's an email by emailing her partner Andrew at moviebitches.xyz, YZ, or by snail mail. People have been sending wonderful things to her at P.O. Box 641, Agora Hills, California, 91376. She appreciates it, and we have been getting some really amazing updates. She is on the mend and recovering, and so we just want to continue to send her love. All right, let's get into it. Last week, we talked at length about Jack's back. Well, we had questions, and we might have even missed a few things. Here is your chance to set us straight. Fact check us, if you will. It is now time for Corrections and Omissions. Hit the damn theme.
Corrections and omissions are not what words you want to hear from us. Don't disconnect the Discord to elude accountability. Then how could your fans express just how we feel? Your dumb words are all you had to say to be so wrong. Now Paul has to eat some shit and say we're right, but we already know.
Thank you, Benjamin Helton, for that theme song. I loved Extreme. Extreme, well, I don't know if I loved them. I liked them. Was Extreme the band that had like the two trains crashing out of the station? Was that the cover of the album? I think. I don't know. Why am I asking you? You can't answer, and I'm not going to Google it. So if I'm wrong, please send me a written letter. I'll open it in a couple of weeks, and I will look at it with shame or delight. All right, on the Discord, Ghostbag, great name, says this. Is the reason for the constant haze in this film due to everyone in it smoking? Cigarettes are constant, from Sydney smoking in the doctor's office to, by the way, I'm really going on sides. I just saw Jaws, the 50th anniversary of Jaws. There's some smoking in the ER in that movie as well. Wild. The amount of cigarettes, I would say, yeah, the Jaws is a problem, but secondhand smoke is really the issue in that movie. Okay, so they say, yes, Sydney was smoking in the doctor's office to the customer that Dark Spader assists in the mall shoe store. I was 13 in 1988, and I lived in California, so I do remember people smoking in public places, but never inside medical facilities and stores. Weird times. Well, yeah, look, if it was in Jaws, I'm going to believe that people were smoking in ERs. Man, hell, people are smoking on planes. I mean, if you look on most planes, they still have that ashtray thing there as if it might come back. And who knows? The way things are going lately, one day someone could be like, yay, you know what? We actually figured out smoking in an airplane is good for your lungs. Actually, you should smoke in an airplane now. And we'll do it. And it will just be back, and people will be upset about it, but we'll just have to embrace it. Megan writes, Second Soul is actually a shoe store that I go to in Akron, Ohio. It is indeed a running shoe store, and it's distinct from the chain of other running shoe stores in Northeast Ohio, also named Second Soul. The chain of stores predates this in the movie, which makes me wonder if Rowdy Harrington was driving through Ohio one day and decided to put it in the movie. Well, Megan, if you're telling me that there are two chains of stores called Second Soul in Ohio, I just feel like it's people being really lazy about naming their shoe store. Like, and by the way, Second Soul means, is it just a shoe store for shoes that you're not wearing on the reg? Anyway, I love it. Dove writes, as Paul discussed, I love when it's about me. Paul discussed the original plan was to call the movie Red Rain, but they couldn't get the rights to Peter Gabriel's song of the same name to run over the opening titles. So Harrington scrapped this idea and had a sound-alike song made. The new song was Red Harvest, but he didn't call the movie by that name. He went with Jack's Back instead. Why? Because if they'd gone with Red Harvest, they would have been using the title of a famous Dashiell Hammett novel to make a completely unrelated movie. Hammett's Red Harvest did inspire Kurosawa's Yojimbo, which in turn inspired Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars and the Bruce Willis movie Last Man Standing. Good movie, if I remember it correctly. Remember when we made a lot of Westerns? Like there was a time, like in that early 90s, like The Quick and the Dead, Tombstone, Wyatt Earp, Last Man Standing. And there's that other one. There's another one in that mix too that was kind of popular. Yeah, we really got... bring them back. We haven't made a Western in a long time. Somebody, go make that. Maybe I will. Anyway, let's go to the phones. What do we got? First one up is, my favorite caller, Anonymous.
Hey, Paul, longtime fan. Love you guys. Love your show. Love the league. I'm a longtime Cubs fan, and you seem to wonder why there was a Cubs reference in your latest review of Jack's Back. And that's because from, I think it was from like 1921 to 1951, the Cubs did their spring training on Catalina Island, and Wrigley, the senior, he bought the PCL Angels and constructed essentially another Wrigley Field in LA. So you can search it and find it and all that good stuff. So I hope that answers your question as to why there's a Cubs tag and why there's a Cubs link to LA. Anyway, love the show. Love you guys. June is great in weapons, and I look forward to seeing whatever you guys do next. Talk to you later.
Wow. First of all, great observation. I don't think it was that specific. I think the path of least resistance is that he could have been born in Chicago. I guess, was it established where they were born? I don't know. I don't think anyone is a fan of a team that does spring training on Catalina Island. I mean, I know that the Dallas Cowboys practice in Oxnard. I'm not seeing a lot of Cowboy fans out here. Anyway, I love that deep research. Thank you, Anonymous. Next up, Peter from New York.
Hey, how's it made? Love the show. Just wanted to do one small correction. I was watching Jack's Back with my wife, and during the film and after the film, she and I discussed multiple times how odd it was that in the 80s, the roided up foosball man was doing these back alley abortions because abortion in the 80s in California was definitely legal. And the sex worker did not need to pay $200 for an abortion in a hotel room because she could have just gone to Planned Parenthood, which was, I'm pretty certain, still in operation. So that makes almost no sense, maybe less sense, or maybe just as little sense as the noose being ready in the weird church auditorium in the hospital. Anyway, I love the show. Can't wait till you guys come to New York. Have a good one.
Wow. Good question. Well, Peter, Dove from our Discord actually had the same question as you and rewound the movie to find out an answer. You see, Dove says that Sydney, a.k.a. Dr. Shouty McAsshole, shouted at the sex worker at the clinic and said she was 2 weeks past the legal limit. So that's why she had to rely on Jack for the abortion, although she didn't appear to be that pregnant in the scene. So she would have to be 24 weeks pregnant. I would imagine you are showing at 24 weeks. So again, let's get into it. I need to know more about the abortion laws in California and especially the abortion laws back then. But you know what? I feel like we have gone so deep on this and I'm so impressed. I don't think we can top it. So maybe we just switch up this segment right now and go to a quick Ask Paul. That's right. Chance for you to ask me an unrelated question to Jack's Back. So Mel, what's on your mind?
Hey, Paul, how you doing? I just had a couple quick questions for you. Number one, I've noticed throughout the years that you and June have very distinct laughs, but they seem to mimic each other. Yours seems to be more like when you're laughing really hard, it's like, ha, ha, ha! And June's is more like, ha, ha, ha! So I'm just curious, who adopted whose laugh pattern? Did you start it when you first met? Did she start it when it first met? You know, it's almost like when you adopt a pet and you start to look alike. One of you is copying the other. So I'm just curious, who is the origin source? The second question is, I'm a huge fan of Shark Tank. Also a huge fan of The Prophet. I know you're a fan of The Prophet as well. And now there's a new Marcus show called The Fixer. And I'm watching it now on YouTube. You can find all the episodes for free, easy peasy. It's a little bit different, but I'm just curious, what are your general thoughts on The Fixer? Again, thanks so much for doing the podcast. I've been to your live show many times and huge fan, brother. Take care.
Interesting. I've never noticed that. Maybe we do. That's very cute. I love June's laugh. Well, okay. Well, I'm now going to pay attention to it. I'm not going to tell June. I'm going to do a little research on my own. I have not watched the new Marcus Lemonis show, The Fixer. I love Marcus. We were going to have Marcus on the show at one point because we're just huge fans. I should watch it. I wish I had a better answer. No, the answer is no, I have not watched it. And I was thinking, why haven't I watched it? And I was like, well, I really don't even watch TV anymore. So I'd really have to go out of my way to find it. I had no idea that it was called The Fixer. And is it different than like Bar Rescue, or is it like the same thing as Bar Rescue? Either way, you have now gotten me very excited to watch a brand new show. Now can I convince my wife, with the same laugh, to put aside Task, a show that we are really getting through at a slow pace, because for June and I to watch a show together, she'll normally fall asleep during an hour-long episode. So it takes us, I would say, 3 days to get through a 45-minute to 60-minute show. We very rarely watch shows together. We have decided that Task is the one, and I have watched the first episode now, 4 times. Got better and better. I did. I went from being like, I'm okay with this show, to I think I like it. Now I'm in. I do like the show. And that is someone who has watched episode 1 a handful of times and is on the 3rd viewing of episode 2. All right. Back to the Discord. Rocket Wesker writes, when they said Dark Spader was an army medic, I thought the movie was going to make him utilize his medical skill in some way, like impersonating his brother at the clinic or using medical knowledge to analyze the evidence in crime scene. But no, it's just used to make police think that he's a suspect, and his medical skill was never brought up again. He used past gangster skills and shoe salesman skills to solve the case, but army medic, not so much. Thank you, Rocket Wesker. Good call there. Dang Tootin' regarding Paul and Jason's reminiscence of the 1980s doll, My Buddy. I have a great story to share. For the first years of my life, my parents always referred to my penis as a buddy for some reason. Okay. Sounds like a Paul story. And now they might be, like, hey, you're holding your buddy. Do you have to pee? Naturally, I assume that a penis is called a buddy. So you can imagine my 8-year-old shock when I first saw the commercial for a doll called My Buddy. The next day at school, I went up to my friends and said, have you guys seen that commercial from My Buddy? I can't believe that. And they were like, what's the issue? And I was like, the toy is named after a penis. And everyone was like, what the hell are you talking about? And that's when I started to question the validity of buddy being a euphemism for penis. And I saw my parents in a different light. Haha. Dang Tootin', great story, great share, very Paul Scheer coded. And I appreciate that. And that's going to really weigh in today as I take stock of who had the best correction and omission. And I got to tell you, you know what? It is going to be Dang Tootin', because never in the history of this show has someone shared their own Paul story. Yeah, people have come out of the woodwork to say that they, kissed their mom and they want to support me in that, but no one ever put it in a corrections and omissions. So, Dang Tootin', you are our winner, and Rob from Long Island's got a great theme. Hit it!
Hey you! Congratulations, you won! A nice vacation and an in-ground pool and a car. But we gave it away to a charity because we all know just how selfless a person you are. But we don't want to send you away empty-handed. That's not what this all is about. So here, take the garbage with you as you leave, and don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. You win!
All right, stick around, because when we are back, we got Tom Sharpling and some other really fun surprises. Remember, if you want to leave a message about the movie that we're talking about, not like an old movie, just keep it, current. You can go to our Discord, and you can always give me a call, ask me a question about life, Marcus Lemonis, or leave a correction and omission about the movie that we talked to at 619-PAULASK. That's 619-PAUL-ASK. And by the way, I want to ask you a question. Are you watching the dark web? Every Monday, Rob Hubel and I take on the internet. That's right. And we have some special shows coming up. We've broken format and oh man, I can't even tease it until we get there, but it's one of my favorite things that we've done. I can't wait. Hopefully it comes out good. It's a big swing. Anyway, we'll be right back. Hope you are checking out our matinees, all right? Because every week we put up an old episode. This week we did Deadfall, which was a Nicolas Cage film, right? One of the most unhinged performances from him. And next week we are going to be talking about the Mariah Carey flop Glitter with Adam Scott, Casey Wilson, and Dan Levy. So keep on checking out all of our replays of classic episodes every Tuesday. Okay, but now enough about all that. Let's have a chat with somebody that I think is truly an inventor of the podcast game. And I feel bad calling it a podcast because Tom Sharpling has been doing the best show for 25 years. Started off as a radio show on WFMU. He is a writer who has worked on such varied shows as What We Do in Shadows and Monk. He has a brand new show coming out with Matt Berry from What We Do in Shadows and Natasha Lyonne. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. But more importantly, he's going to be taking Best Show on the road to celebrate this giant anniversary. So without any further ado, please welcome to the show, the one, the only, the great Tom Sharpling. For the last 25 years, this man has been running truly a pioneering show. I'm not even call it a podcast because it didn't even start as a podcast. It started a radio show. This is entertainment. It is every Tuesday. It's live. It's great. Tom Sharpling, happy 25 years of the best show.
Wow.
Wow.
That's too much. I can't. I did something wrong, clearly.
This is the thing about you, Tom, and this show.
You're a radio man. You're a radio man.
Yeah, I'm just an old DJ sitting in the like Wolfman Jack in American Graffiti. With
yes. Ooh, in the
popsicles.
What, Tom? Just because I feel like the show is such a phenomenal meld of whatever you're interested in doing in that moment and talking through bits or talking through bits. Like what did you listen to? Like, was there stuff that were you someone who was like, oh, I am like listening to Phil Hendry or I am listening to, or is it like just a regular, it's Howard Stern or it's like terrestrial radio or whatever?
Yeah, it was a lot of different things. It was, I didn't listen to Phil Hendry. That was a West Coast thing. And I was New Jersey. And then when I heard about Phil Hendry, I was like, strangely enough, I was like, I don't want to hear it because I feel like it would be too much of an influence. I've kind of never heard Phil Hendry to this day.
How about Joe Frank? Have
you
heard Joe Frank?
I heard plenty of Joe Frank on WFMU because they aired Joe Frank on WFMU.
That's how I used to listen to it.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
And Joe Frank was about what you could do with audio to me in terms of like he was doing a completely different thing that I would never even be able to do. But I knew it was like, oh, this guy's taking full advantage of the medium. And that was the exciting part of that.
And for people who've never heard the show, I just want to give them an idea of what they're in store for every episode, or at least the idea. Like, you're going to come in with a topic, whatever that topic might be. You're going to introduce a topic. You're going to be talking to people. And then somewhere in the middle of the show, you're going to get a phone call from an interesting character, somebody who might, you think, oh, well, this is calling in. A lot of them have hailed from Newbridge, New Jersey. And you'll interact with this character. And this is like the centerpiece of the show, where it's like when I first started to listen to you, I was on these CDs. I had these CDs, the best of these phone calls. It's you and John Worster, who you might know as used to be the drummer for Superchunk. And these are some of the funniest big sketches. They remind me of Nichols and May. They remind me of, Interview with the, was it 1,000-year-old man or
2,000-year-old
man?
man?
2,000-year-old man. Like it has that vibe where it's like these long 30, 40-minute bits that they start off in one direction and then they just morph and you're just in this zone and these characters come back. It's so much fun to listen to, and opposed to many other shows and even Phil Hendry himself, it's just you and John. So it really is this duo. It's not like, oh, and next week you have in so-and-so and they're doing a funny call. I think that's one of the things that makes the show kind of so fun and unique too.
Oh, well, thank you. John and I hit on something early, and there were stretches where other people called in and would do funny stuff. Like John Benjamin would do stuff, Sam Cedar and John Glazer and Andy Earls. But then there was a point where I was just like, the thing that me and John are doing is the thing. And I kind of need to just focus on that being the thing. And doing that was just kind of validated the thing that me and John have, and then we were just partners forever.
It's so fun. Just listen to it. Listen to a best show. You're 25 years. You're going on the road.
I'm very excited about it. We're going to do the Bell House and New York and LA and Chicago and Philadelphia. It'll be super fun because John lives in North Carolina and I used to live in New Jersey, and now I'm in Los Angeles. So we've never done the show from the same place outside of like a very small window where John lived in New York, but we're not together for the most part. And this will be us being together. So it's pretty rare.
So it's really unique. Yeah, that's cool. I would love to see that. That's great.
These shows are 10-11, 10-12, 10-13, 10-15, and 10-21. That's Brooklyn, Philly, LA, and Chicago. Now, I want to go in a different direction just for a second. For people who don't know, not only are you this showman, but you also are a great writer. You've written many television episodes. You've created shows. But the thing I think about a lot, and I was referencing it just the other day, was you wrote a script for Grown Ups 3 on spec. Just you embraced the universe and got a Grown Ups 3 spec out there, which I have to say, it was one of those bits. Is it a bit? I don't know. Is it a bit? I don't. It could work. It could work. This Grown Ups 3 could work.
I was going through a thing at a point, and what it came down to ultimately was, when you make a joke with a friend, and then you're just like, oh, what if this existed? Can you imagine that? And you joke about it and you laugh. And then there's always that moment where you're just like, what if I actually did write that? And then you're like, no, I'm not going to actually do that. But then I was like, yeah, I'm kind of got some free time right now, and I'm enjoying being by myself. Like, I guess it was not a great stretch. So I just spent a weekend. And I wrote it over a weekend. I wrote like this 55-page script in like 2 days. It just poured out. And then it was Jason Wallner, who was the person I was joking about it with. And then I was like, hey, Jason, I wrote that script. And then and I sent it to him, and he was like, well, this is insane.
Oh my God.
And then I started sending it around. And then people are like, it turned into like this weird Rorschach test with Adam Sandler. Some people were just like, read it, and then they go, oh my God, I hate Adam Sandler so much, and I can tell how much you hate him because of this script. And other people were like, man, I love those movies too, and I can just see there's so much love for what he does in here. Like, people saw what they wanted to see in it. It was really fascinating.
Well, I think that you captured a tone that is like, and I guess either way that you look at it, have you like, I go to the mat for Hubie Halloween. I think it really made me laugh. It's a very funny movie, and people get mad at me for saying that, but I'm not taking it back.
Well, they should not get, Paul, they got to cut you some slack with this. You know what you're talking about. It's a fun movie.
Fun.
It's fun. What are they?
I will not stand here and let you guys promote Hubie Halloween one more
Netflix.
second,
It's on
because we
Netflix.
all know
It's a
that
Halloween movie.
Hubel, it should be Hubel
Hubel
Halloween.
Halloween.
That's true.
By the way, we're not just referencing something that you cannot read. If you go to the best Show for Life website, you can read Grown Ups 3.
It's floating around. Yeah. It was one of those things where like it started to like make the rounds a little bit.
Yeah.
And then people who were in it, some people read it who are in
That's
it.
what I was going to wonder next. Yeah.
I know Nick Swartzen read it. He was just like, this is funny. He said, there's a funny script floating around Grown Ups 3. And then David Spade, I heard, read it and thought it was funny. But then there was the point when talking to Adam McKay, and he's just like, should I send it to Sandler? And then I was like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. And then it made it to Adam Sandler through another channel, through the Safdie channel that I have.
Sure.
And more or less, I think it might, I don't know how it got there, but I know that someone in that camp heard him at one point go, what's the deal with this Grown Ups 3 thing? And
quite a bit of your Grown Ups 3 script ended up in Uncut Gems, right?
Pretty much. I'm right now arbitrating with the Writers Guild about, no, it was.
They've got our best interest at heart.
It didn't, of course they do. No, we're heading back out, guys, to get your signs. I've got a few quips ready, and I'm ready to start walking on the
You get back out there early.
On
wherever I was.
the new picket lines.
Oh my God. When I walked, I walked the picket line over by by Universal. And it was like, first of all, I'm watching everybody. Oh, Jay Leno pulled up and had hot dogs or whatever. And here's all these famous people. I walked that Universal picket line. First of all, I almost got hit by a car every day. It was directly off the 101. People are pulling off that Lancashire ramp as if they're still on the highway.
Didn't they cut back the trees there too, so you guys would have no shade?
I think that was the Warner Brothers one where they cut the trees.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But this one, they didn't have to do anything to make this any worse. This was just bad. You know, when you go past Universal Studios and there's that giant hill that goes up, and if you're going to drive to the City Walk or whatever, it's like that's where we were picketing.
Ugh.
I was there so many times. The only star power I ever saw at it was one Sklar brother.
And you couldn't tell which one?
It was Jason. I could tell. Thankfully, I could tell. I can tell the Sklar
because he was
brothers.
wearing glasses.
Yeah, and that's the trick with the Sklar brothers.
Yes.
Can't tell them apart. Jason, he has glasses on. Jason. That's how you.
Oh, wow. Okay, got it.
Makes me sound like Tony Robbins or something with like mind gymnastics. But that was it. One Sklar brother once. Also, he didn't come back. He just he was like, this sucks. Nobody
I
cool
did hear.
here.
I will say I did hear he got hit by a car. So this is
Rest in power.
Tom, the other thing that I feel like I just want to mention, I texted you about this. Now, Jason, you may not even know this. You know, Tom has a new show.
I did not know this.
A show with Natasha Lyonne and Matt Berry. Can you tell us a little bit about this show? Because it got me so pumped when I heard about it. But yeah, I'll let you pitch it.
Yeah, for like a couple of years, I've been working on this thing. The idea of like doing this retro. The word retro is getting thrown around with it because it's funny and stupid, and that apparently means retro now because people don't want to be both of those things.
Well, now people just
time.
are very comfortable with stupid, but they don't want funny anymore.
Well, it's funny because
so it's retro to be two things at once.
I was talking to somebody the other day who said that now whenever you're talking about a comedy, you have to say it's meta. It's like, well, it's not meta. It's just it's a comedy.
No, it's
but I guess it's meta if you are treating it like a drama.
Honestly, I'm not sure where people's heads are at with any of these things now. It's like, I thought, like, we all talked about it, Matt and me and Matt's producing partner, about a show that would be British guy, American woman teaming up to solve crimes. And it was like a stupid heart to heart to me. Like,
right.
like thinking of the legendary show Heart to Heart, which Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers.
Stephanie Powers. Adam Scott and I did that, the greatest event in the history of television, where we recreated the olding of the Heart to Heart theme song. Very action-packed skiing, boating. You know, it's like little spies running around doing fun stuff.
It's the kind of show where a friend of mine described it as there's a crime scene, and then they show up, he's in like a tuxedo and she's in an evening gown, and they're like, what seems to be the problem here, officer? Like they're just inserting them like if two fancy people show up at a crime scene, like get out of here, go away. What are you? You can't come over here, but they do. They let them.
It's kind of like an 80s riff on The Thin Man in a way, right? Like, you know, like but in The Thin Man, they're drunks and they're whatever, and they used to be detectives. These people, they seem to be just living the high life. They're stepping out of Dynasty in a way, and then just kind of solving crimes.
Yeah, it's going to be like old TV in the fact that it's going to be really funny, and it's going to be kind of like if you put a Roger Moore era James Bond with like another person who's a lot tougher and stronger. So it's kind of.
I love this.
Is it kind
this
of like,
amazing.
I mean, if we're I know it's different than Natasha, but like the way Roger Moore kind of teamed up with Grace Jones, an interesting pairing there.
It's going to be, I think it's going to really be funny, and we're going to shoot it in Europe next year. So that'll be its own thing.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's pretty exciting. And it's like the best actors you could ever ask for.
Matt Berry is the funniest.
Heart to Heart with Natasha and Matt Berry is, I mean, like in that vein, is that already has gotten me, it gets me very, very excited. I am excited that you're doing this. And, you know, maybe if it gets enough traction, then maybe that Grown Ups 3 script can go. Because I'm going to tell you, my kids can't get enough of these Grown Ups movies. I've watched Grown Ups 1 and 2, I would say conservatively in the last month, 5 times each.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Look. Oh my God.
That's a lot.
That's too much. Tom, are there any albums you want to recommend right now?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a good question. I feel like now I'm in a weird, lame stretch, and I'm just looking at albums on my floor.
I'm going to say both of us are huge Destroyer fans.
Yeah, new Destroyer albums.
Wait, what did you decide? Will you be seeing him this Thursday?
I'm still not sure yet whether I'm going to see Pulp or Destroyer.
Good. I mean,
it's an
incredible problem to have.
Yes, exactly.
I will be at Destroyer, very excited, and one of my absolute favorite records of the year, Dan's Boogie.
Yeah, so amazing, and he finds like another gear. It's imagine if people, when they can't figure out Destroyer, it's like, think about if Bob Dylan changed his sound every time he put an album out. Like,
yes.
That's what, if he stayed Bob Dylan.
Yes. But sometimes made a David Bowie record.
Exactly. And it just, sometimes it was a record with a cheap keyboard, and sometimes it's a record with the E Street Band. It sounds
and
like
sometimes it's a record with Frog Eyes.
Yeah, it's just yep.
By the way, if Bob Dylan made a record with Frog Eyes, I would be thrilled. New album from the band Wednesday is fantastic, and I will also shout out the band Sharp Pins.
Steve Gunn album is great.
What
Steve Gunn has an album that's really
Great,
beautiful.
Yep.
And it's literally meant for us. It's called Music for Writers.
I love it.
Ooh,
that's great.
Nice ambient stuff, and I mean, as he does, it's beautiful. So
great.
Tom, I always ask Jason this, but like, how do you find it? Like, how are you finding music?
You just it's funny because I am writing a book about music now, and that's one of the things I'm trying to write about, is like not giving up on finding, like how to not give up on music as you get older and not just like stay in your comfort zone.
I also talk about this all the time. How do you, especially with the death of those curatorial places that we used to go to, be they record stores like Other Music or Aquarius Records in San Francisco, any of those places that helped recommend, those have all gone away.
They have, but they haven't all gone away. You could go to Gimme Gimme and Gimme Gimme in LA, and they'll tell you about anything. There's smart people working there. And I really just think you just have to pay attention a little bit. And sometimes it can be as simple as if you're on a streaming service and you're listening to something you like, just look for the thing they recommend that you never have heard of and just
got it.
Go down that road. And if you keep going down a road past that, you get somewhere else. And like if you go, oh, well, what would the people who like this also like? Then you listen to that. Then what would the people who like this? Now you're out in the woods and you're finding new things. And
I think one of the things that I've had success with in the Bandcamp ecosystem is Bandcamp will show, if I bought a record, if I bought the Steve Gunn record that Tom just held up, it might show me other people who've bought that record and what else have they bought. So it's also, somebody who listens to that Steve Gunn record, they might also have this Riley Walker record or this Bill McKay record that I also like instrumental guitar music. Okay, cool. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta get on this. I feel myself like flailing in this world because I gotta do some more exploration, and that's where my downside is. I used to love and listen and find, and now it's bad for me.
Well, there's also things like, the other thing I would recommend is like, look at who opens for people when they do the whole tour, not like the band that just got thrown on for one night. It's like, look who bands and acts you like, see who they pick. Because that works even on the biggest possible scale. You could find, it's just like, oh, well, Sabrina Carpenter opened for Taylor Swift. It's just like, that's how people found out. Like, it goes as high up as that, but it kind of works. If the band respects somebody, there's something there. That's worth checking out if you love the band, the headliner so much. And then also just like there are still record labels you can pay attention to. That still tracks to some degree. And just find a venue. Like if you're in this area, there's a place in Pasadena called Healing Force of the Universe that it's a record store during the day, and at night they have shows, and they just have a certain type of show there. They have stuff that's a little more mellow and maybe kind of, look, folky is a bad word for some people, but it's not a bad word. They have really nice stuff happening there, and you just can look at the other bands that play there. Go to their website and see what their calendar is, and even if you're not looking to go to shows, just check out the names, see who's headlining, and listen to a couple songs by people. You can get there. It does take a little more work, but you can also take advantage of the fact that you can hear things like that. You don't have to go buy an album and find out you think somebody
you don't
sucks,
have to travel.
actually. Yeah.
You can be exposed immediately rather than, I read about this record, now it's going to take me a week to actually hear a cut from it.
Exactly. Now you got to remember what you were trying to check out. It's like the chaos that has happened, there's still patterns in the chaos that you can take advantage of and utilize.
For me, what I do is, I go to the record store from Freakier Friday, where Chad Michael Murray worked. And I'm like, and I want to see, I kind of, that's the record parlor, and I kind of check out there and kind of get those vibes going, and find some new bands and get some stuff like that. That's where I'm at.
I think, Paul, you've got it all figured out. I would rescind everything I said. Just go.
I saw, it seemed like there's some cool stuff going on there, some neat stuff. If you want to hear more of Tom and us, of course, you can listen to our Avengers episode, Uma Thurman, Rafe Fiennes, and we did that live in New York with you.
That's right. People should listen for the moment when the crowd realizes that I was the surprise guest, and you hear the room just deflate, that they're like, oh, I don't know who that is.
You know him as the host of The Best Show. Please welcome Tom Sharpling. Welcome, Tom. Welcome. Have a seat right there.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. How are you, Tom?
I'm good. Listen to that completely measured applause of me being here.
they heard Tom, and then the only thing they wanted to hear after that was
Cruise!
Mess Middle Ditch. And then it's like, oh no.
It's, if you listen to it, it really feels like
you can hear the oxygen leave the room.
I think you can hear the people leave the room. Actually, you hear chairs.
That was the episode where by the end of the show,
I walked
the recording,
room, yeah.
the room, you had walked the whole room.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, it's a classic.
But outside of that, it's a classic episode.
Tom, you're the best. Thank you so much. We will be listening to you and seeing you out on the road. Best Show live in October. Brooklyn, Philly, LA, Chicago. So good. I cannot wait.
Congratulations, Tom.
Thank
25
you.
years.
Thank you both. You're the best.
And thanks for not retiring like that mayor Nick Coward only did 15.
He only did 2 episodes a week for 15 years. You're like,
wow.
What a tourist. He didn't have it, apparently. He only had the president in his garage.
Thank you, Tom, for joining us. And by the way, a shout out to Rob from Long Island doing double duty with that great introduction segment for Just Chat. Now, if you want to go see Tom on the road, just go to thebestshow.net and click on the link for tickets. You know it works. You know websites work. You're there. Thebestshow.net. Get your tickets to see Tom on the road, and you might even see me and Jason in the crowd in Los Angeles. All right, now's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to announce our next movie. That's right, we're going to be going from a scare with a noose to a bear on the loose. That's the kind of wordplay that this show is known for. I love it. Next week, we'll be kicking off a month of spooky movies with 1983's Grizzly 2, The Revenge. I will note that some streaming services do list the year of release as 2020. However, it was filmed in 1983, but not released for 37 years. Yes, Grizzly 2, The Revenge was released in 2020, but not released for 37 years. And I don't know why, because check out this cast. George Clooney, Laura Dern, and Charlie Sheen, kind of. Okay, IMDb describes the movie like this. All hell breaks loose when a giant grizzly, reacting to the slaughter of other grizzlies by poachers, attacks a massive big band rock concert in the national park. Holy shit, I am excited. Rotten Tomatoes rates this movie an 8% rotten, and Adam Patterson from Film Pulse says Grizzly 2 is a dreadful experience, but it's an oddly fascinating one as well. Take a listen to the trailer.
What happened now?
Grizzly killed again. 3 kids this time.
I don't want a cloud of fear on this concert. Now you get that, Grizzly, and get it now.
The grizzly we're seeking is huge. And probably enraged.
You can stream Grizzly 2, The Revenge on Netflix, Hoopla, Tubi, the Roku channel, Pluto TV, and Plex. Or you can rent it on Apple TV and Amazon Prime Video. In addition to Hoopla, I encourage you to check out your other great free media services offered by your local library like Canopy and Libby. People, that's it for Last Looks. Make sure you get your How Did This Get Made and Dinosaur tickets on the East Coast for November. And if you're listening to this show right now, make sure that you are rating and reviewing it so you can come see How Did This Get Made in Philadelphia and New York and feel like, yeah, I'm up to date on everything, like what movies that we're doing. We haven't announced it yet, but stay tuned. All right. So, people, we'll see you on social media at HDTGM. That's how we do it. And a big thank you to our producers, Scott Sani, Molly Reynolds, and our movie picking producer, Avril Halley, and our engineer, Casey Holford. We'll see you next week for Grizzly 2, The Revenge.